start. I'm going to do this to help you if you want to sync it better. 1, 2, 3.
Brilliant idea, MJ. You are a smart man. So, welcome to the first... What are we going to call this?
What we thought of the EA conference.
EA conference at
Opinion.
E3 reaction. Yeah.
Reaction, opinion, whatever, Jules.
Masturbation. I don't know. Okay, so first I think we need to talk about whatever the fuck the Men in Blazers thing was supposed to be. Now, I'm gonna just go out on a ledge here and say that there was maybe one person in that crowd who knew who the fuck those two people were.
Yeah, they were there for the soccer game.
Yeah, we definitely got that idea, considering how often they were talking about, oh, it's all about the game, right? Oh, good crikey.
You understood what they were saying?
A little bit. I always found the British accent gets a lot of flack for being ununderstandable. That is not a word.
Unintelligible?
Yeah, unintelligible, but I thought they were pretty good.
That's the word you're thinking of, Jules.
Yes, that is the word I was thinking of. So, let's see. What do I have in my notes here? Ben, while we were watching that, Ben looked up who they were on his phone, and there was an article that said, of the Men in Blazers ratings, literally suboptimal. That just is not positive in any way, shape, or form. So why the fuck would you invite them to E3?
So this isn't just about us rating these Men in Blazers. They were there for the sports games. One thing I noticed, it seems like every sports game now is going to have a story.
Yeah, that I have never known anybody who's ever bought an NHL game or an NBA game and said, hey, you know what this needs? I need to feel an emotional connection to these players. That's what I need right there. I need to actually give a shit when I'm playing hockey or throwing a football. Otherwise, it's just me playing with a bunch of zeros and ones that were shaped into a fucking player. Nah. I need story. That's what I need. Fuck yeah. Story. Yeah, no, this is not going in any interesting direction for sports games at all. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, what were you going to do with sports games?
Just to make them playable and, who cares about a story in sports? Ben, have any comment?
No.
Well, Ben, everybody. Yeah, so I think we've covered this pretty well. Though, what do I have?
I will say 1/3 of the conference was sports.
Yeah, a lot of it was sports. I'm just looking over my notes for the Men Blazers thing. Literally suboptimal. No idea who the fuck they are. The audience seemed to give them pity claps every now and then. And the crowd absolutely looked like they did not care.
Then they went to a cool game that, a game that
Which one?
we got interested in. The guy from Brothers, what was it called?
Okay, A Way Out. Yes. It basically does look like a grown-up version of Brother, A Tale of Two Sons?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Brother, A Tale of Two Sons.
That's really I've always found that title strange. Yeah.
But with Shawshank Redemption mixed in,
a little bit of Shawshank in there. Yeah, I like that. I like that split screen multiplayer games seem to be making a comeback. I always thought that was a very underrated thing that came out of our video game generation.
Well, I mean, as I said while we were watching it, we have bigger TVs nowadays than when we had as kids.
Oh god, imagine having to play some of the games today on those little TVs that are more back than screen.
Any younger generation who's watching this will be like, I have no idea what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Well, you see, guys, TVs weren't always flat.
Just look at old TVs. I'm sure if you Google image, you'll
Google
see
it. We come from a generation that was technically before the internet. We actually had to think about things on our own when it came to actually playing the video games, or you bought a guidebook. TVs were, if they were big, the backs of them were even bigger. It was basically like the equivalent of saying the TV had a great ass. It's just like everything, all the junk was in the trunk.
It was a hell of a job to move.
Oh fuck. Yeah. I remember.
And that's just the small TVs.
Yeah, and God forbid if they ever got bigger. And some of them, like, I've seen one of those old TVs that like took up all of this area. But we are getting sidetracked here.
There you are, you son of a bitch.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, something else I actually really enjoyed, that I think will end up being comedic gold in A Way Out, is that I noticed in one of the scenes you just backhanded one of the prisoners, and he sort of stumbled around like, "What? Hey, you slapped me."
No, and then in that, you blame it on the other guy.
Yeah, and he tried to blame it on the other guy like some fucking kid. I didn't do it. That'll make for some funny.
But the whole thing was,
funny
remember,
shit.
because the other guy was like, those two guys are trying to start a fight.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that game, and I hope you buy it because we should play that. Any other thoughts on A Way Out?
Just that it looks pretty awesome.
Okie dokie.
I mean, Brothers was a great game.
Yes, it was.
One thing I did notice that Brothers was much more of a Xbox Live game. This one seems like a full retail game.
Yeah, they seem to have. Well, maybe the first one was only Xbox Live because of like budget constraints.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's like it felt much more indie. This one feels like much more of a AAA game.
Yeah,
Like
it definitely gives off that vibe. Even the voice acting was pretty good, I would say.
I mean, in Brothers, there wasn't even voice acting.
No. That's what I remember of Brothers. All the made up sounds and everything. Moving on.
Microsoft had a new title, or they had that.
Oh, Anthem?
Yeah.
I haven't seen enough of it
We'll
to
see
really
more
make
about
a
it tomorrow.
comment. You will talk about that another time. Need for Speed. Yeah, that was pretty much my reaction too. The voice acting was pretty goddamn hacky.
I mean, that's what they're going for, but
honestly, it looks like it's a solidly designed game, but if I want that kind of action, open world racing criminal stuff, like, I'll just play GTA. I really don't see a point to buying Need for Speed for stuff other than racing.
I
still have fond memories of Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed back in like 2000, and that was a good game.
I just want more Burnout.
Oh, so do I. We were talking about that before that happened, and then they brought it up on the in the conference. It was more fucking make some Burnout, please.
I don't know. They did like a Burnout golf game.
Did you just say a Burnout golf
I'm
game?
not kidding you. The creators of Burnout did like their style of wrecking into a golf game.
I need to Google that.
You have to shoot a ball and wreck as many stuff in the room as possible.
Burnout golf. Wow, okay, it's called Dangerous Golf. That's, you know what? No.
I heard it's supposed to be actually somewhat pretty fun. So.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. Something we didn't really take notes on were all the other sports games. Then they didn't. Yeah, sports games. Me and Ben play NHL games on occasion. It's fun, but I don't really care for it more than that.
I mean, honestly, if they do have stories, maybe it would be kind of fun to just go into it and mess with it. I don't know.
If only to make a really screwed up character like Squeeps from Achievement Hunter. Speaking of which, you guys should absolutely play that game and continue it. This way Squeeps can get a storyline. Considering you guys have been doing storylined things lately, like Battle Buddies or the Sasquatch thing, keep doing the Sasquatch thing. That's fun. Or no, not Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, speaking of Achievement Hunters, we saw Jack.
We saw Jack! What was he... What was the thing here? We saw him during the Need for Speed thing. He, like, just poking his head out, looking behind. They should have used him rather than that guy who didn't talk or look even vaguely interesting as a human being.
No, it's not that he didn't talk. It's that he couldn't remember what he was saying.
Oh, yeah. Like, I've seen Jack in interviews. He's actually really articulate. And, like, his sentences actually flow outward. This guy was like, oh, yeah, hey, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he's probably nervous.
Oh, yeah, I probably would be, too. But even so.
Then the rest of it was basically on a Battlefront?
Yeah, Battlefront. I think we can say that looks like it'll be a fun game, but you know what we do need to talk about? Janina Gavenka. I don't remember your name, lady. If you had not been a voice actress, you should have become a school teacher, because you absolutely sounded like you were scolding a group of teenagers in that hall. That's pretty much the only notes I have for Star Wars. Why is Janina so fucking serious? Teacher scolding students. And as for the
I think we could all say that we got a little turned on by her. We all had wood.
Little bit. Though I'm sure she has a wonderful personality. Gotta plug the feminism in there somewhere.
As a joke.
Bleep.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of promoting feminism. I want her to scold me more. I enjoy her as a powerful woman.
Oh, that's bad. I want
her to tell me how much of a naughty boy I am.
Now we're not talking about feminism. I want to give a shout out to the guy who, during the Star Wars segment of the show, was clearly playing the NBA game. Good job. Way to tell the world you don't give a shit. I like you, guy. Or girl. Whatever the hell you are. Yeah, I thought that was a funny little gaffe.
Yeah.
Indeed. The only other note I have here is I'm gonna say the French guy who is giving most of the talk. You're kind of depressing, guy. You look like someone either ran your dog over with a truck, or you were eating a really good meal and someone slapped it out of your hands on the way to the presentation and it just ruined your day.
Okay, are we done now?
I think in closing we should say all the games that were on there and what we thought about them. The sports games, who gives a shit? I think there was two that really stood out for us that we cared about. Was A Way Out.
A Way Out?
Which looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Battlefront, which...
And Battlefront.
Looks like it's gonna definitely be better than the first one.
All right. See you tomorrow. Okie dokie. 2 days have gone by and like 4 conferences. Three conferences have happened. Microsoft.
We're doing it before Sony, so.
Yeah. Ubisoft. Bethesda?
And Bethesda, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So since Bethesda seems to have been the shortest one, thoughts?
Disappointing. I mean,
they only focused on, what was it, Skyrim?
They didn't really even focus on Skyrim. Skyrim's gonna have amiibo support on the Switch. I mean, you could get the Master Sword in Skyrim. That's kind of cool, but, you know.
Yeah, that is kind of cool. You can also get, like, a few skins and everything, like
Yeah.
like the blue suit that Link wears in Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I gotta get that game.
I don't know. Basically, the big announcements were The Evil Within 2, which I didn't pick up. I was excited for it when I first heard of The Evil Within, but I heard it sucks, so
Yeah,
I
I
never
heard
picked
it was
it up.
very mediocre. Maybe it's a case
Maybe
of
I was wrong. Maybe it's like something I should pick up.
maybe it's something that like people hated initially and then they hooked onto the concept. I actually don't know.
New Wolfenstein.
New Wolfenstein.
That one looks awesome.
Nazis are always great.
I don't know. A lot of stuff was just like, I don't know, Elder Scrolls mobile game.
Yeah,
Shit like that.
Nobody wants to play that.
DLC. I don't know.
Well, okay.
Again, not a lot of big things. So that was Bethesda.
All right. So moving
We'll
on
move
then
on to the meteor shit.
to to Xbox. They picked a very bad name. They should have just stuck with Scorpio.
Yeah, the Scorpio is now the Xbox One X.
Which is going to be problematic for people who have a lisp and aren't able to distinguish between S and X. It's going to lead to some very disappointed children on Christmas.
They price around $500.
It's not a bad price,
I mean, I guess one of the great things is that the Xbox One, just the regular Xbox One prices will be going down.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever wanted one of those and don't particularly give a shit about 4K resolution games.
I mean, you do need a 4K TV to get...
Yeah, exactly. So technically the price isn't even just $500. It's like $500 plus whatever the hell the 4K TV is going to cost.
Unless you already have one. Then
Unless you already have one. Unless your parents already have one.
You're not really worrying about the price of a game because you're fucking rich.
Yeah, really. That's like a console for rich people. The backwards compatibility.
Backwards compatibility is
that is
awesome.
fucking great, especially since the original Xbox has some great games. Fable comes to mind. I can't think of any others.
Didn't have an Xbox, so I have no idea what games they had in there.
I had one, but like years after the original Xbox was a thing, and then it died like a year later. It was a used console, but I got some fun out of it.
Sea of Thieves looks awesome.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves does look awesome. Just like I'll say Skull and Bones looks also pretty awesome. Depends on whether you want the cell shaded stuff or the grittier.
I prefer the cell shaded.
I'm not gonna call it realistic, but you know.
And Rareware, I mean, they have the Rareware humor in there. You can tell.
Although, now that they've made the banana, that's not how you banana. You don't banana that way. Although you have to keep it now because that's pretty iconic. Now that it's kind of a meme.
Anthem, I'm gonna say, it just basically looks like Microsoft's Destiny.
Yeah, like I'm sure it'll be fine, but
it looks like a pretty game. It does. It just looks like Destiny.
It does look like Destiny a lot. Was there anything else?
One indie game that they announced in there that looked pretty cool was The Last Night. They didn't really give a whole story of it, but you know,
they gave enough to make it look intriguing.
The art style was cool.
Yeah, it was.
It was like a 8-bit but 3D. I don't know, it just looked cool.
That's an interesting combination. Moving on to Ubisoft or Ubisoft, whatever the fuck they call it. I had taken down a few notes for myself during that conference.
Well, we'll start with the Ubisoft with something that they kind of showed on the Microsoft conference was the demo for Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yes, that is actually pretty cool looking.
It looks cool.
Yeah,
but
hopefully they put a little more thought into it rather than just codding it this time.
I'm gonna say I'm just tired of Assassin's Creed.
Maybe it's a series that needs to go away for a while.
It kind of does. It really does.
Sort of like COD, funny enough.
But now they're going back to World War II.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Rabbids.
Oh yeah, the I like the idea of the battle mechanics in that Mario Rabbids.
I think I need to see more of it, and I need to see some reviews, because for me that looked kind of, for a game that they've labored on for 3 years, that doesn't look like they've hit it out of the park. And like I said, I'll wait for the reviews, but right now I'm not that impressed about it.
That looks like a new idea to me.
Oh, it's definitely new, but it's strange. I don't know. For me right now, that's looking like something I'm not going to be interested in.
They had the crew and all that, but that's not really worth mentioning for me, anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. Open
Steep
world
is
racing.
having Olympic DLC.
Very steep. So steep. What else do I have here? We talked about Skull and Bones a little bit. Can we talk about Miyamoto and other guy awkwardly talking to each other in what is definitely their second language that they're both apparently not very good at? No offense to Miyamoto. English is tough and English sucks. Coming from an English speaking person. Yeah, that was kind of cringy. Kind of awkward. Kind of looked like two people who have never met each other before, and they have to pretend to have been like long, close friends together and say, "Oh yeah, I like your stuff too, buddy." Yeah.
And it's Tommy Wiseau too.
Yeah, it was very much like Tommy Wiseau. Yeah, Tommy Wiseau at E3. Was there anything else?
Well, there's Far Cry 5. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, Far Cry 5. That's very cool looking. I like the cult idea of that.
I mean, as much as people say it's like, Far Cry games are all just the same at this point, it's like
that's not necessarily a bad thing, though.
Who cares? They're great.
Yeah, it's sort of like Mario games. They're all the same, but they're fucking great.
I mean,
as long as they don't make them boring.
Far Cry is getting a little close to getting a yearly release that it might get a little bit tiresome if they keep on.
Yeah.
But
overdo anything and it'll get old. At least with Mario, there's like years between each one.
I mean, this one seems different enough in story that it seems exciting enough.
Yeah, I agree. That one looks good. I think the last one, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
That one I'm really excited about. I never thought that was going to happen.
It's like animatronic, or not animatronic, but like anthropomorphized animals in a Blade Runner setting.
I put up some of our videos we did of Beyond Good and Evil. I mean,
we got stuck in it.
I beat the game.
Oh, you beat the game.
But that was before we played it on the show. Jules is the one who got stuck on it.
Yeah, I got stuck in it. I couldn't. I would need to sit down with that game, and yeah.
But yeah, I love that game, and I'm really glad that they're going to have a sequel. That's technically a prequel.
Interestingly enough, they didn't announce what systems it's going to be for, so...
Maybe they did, and I just wasn't paying attention.
Internet, correct us, please. Because we're too lazy to look it up on Google.
Either way, it has a monkey that's flipping off the cops.
And cursing like a British sailor. It's great.
Yeah.
Ya motherfucker.
And he sounds like a soccer hooligan, too.
He does sound like a soccer hooligan a lot.
Oh.
Final thoughts?
You know what? As much as there was Beyond Good and Evil 2 and all that, and a lot of great announcements from these other conferences, I still gotta say, A Way Out.
Yes.
Still.
Yeah, so far that is looking like.
Still I don't know, I'm the most interested in.
Yeah. Obviously, my default is Super Mario Odyssey, but that just looks. The Way Out looks awesome. And we're going to buy it.
I mean...
And we're going to play it.
We'll have to see what Sony and Nintendo drops, but...
Yes.
I gotta say, so far, A Way Out is going to be my game of E3. Girl.
Hey, girl. Suck me dick.
See y'all.
Wait, before we go. 1, 2, 3.
This way the video syncs. See you later. All right. The last of the E3 conferences has gone through. I think it was the last of them, right?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
I mean, there were some that we're probably not going to do, like Devolver Digital. I don't even know who the fuck they are, so...
Yeah, I've never heard of them.
And then there's PC Gaming.
Yeah, we don't have PC, so we don't really give a shit. Well, we have a PC, but we don't have computers that are actually capable of playing games like that. So, we have a lot to get through. Let's start with Sony.
I thought it was a pretty good conference. Not a lot of surprises, but, you know, still a lot of solid games in there.
If there was a big surprise, it's going to be that there is a Monster Hunter game that isn't coming to a Nintendo console. I wonder how Nintendo feels about that, considering, the last 3 Monster Hunter games that have come out were Nintendo exclusives? For the most
It
part.
seems like every system they've tried to get a Monster Hunter game.
Yeah, I wonder what happened this time. Let's see. Shadow of the Colossus coming to PlayStation. That's pretty cool.
I never played any of the Team Ico games, but Team Ico games, but I kind of do. So it's good to know that, you know, I could play one that looks prettier than when it came out.
Yeah, definitely agreed there. Days Gone, despite zombie fatigue, looks pretty good.
I like the idea of the horde.
Yeah, having that many enemies on screen at once and working, from the way the AI looked, working that well. That's pretty impressive. Even though zombies are not passe, but...
We're getting zombie fatigue.
Yeah, it's just...
Like I said, I think I said this, there's a lot of good zombie games, but the problem is there is a lot of good zombie games.
Yeah, it reminds me of when vampires became a thing in movies everywhere. Fucking Twilight. We were talking about this earlier. Hidden Agenda. It started out for me as something that looked...
It wasn't on the
interesting.
Sony conference, I'll say that.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
But it's from the creators of Until Dawn.
Yeah, which is good, but at the same time...
It looks like it's going to be an Until Dawn style game, but you play it all on your phone.
Yeah, that's...
I mean...
If it turns out good, we'll probably get it, but I wouldn't pay full retail price for something that I can play on my phone.
I mean, it looks like a choose your own adventure book made into a movie.
Yeah, no. If I want that, I'll, watch a movie. Or read a choose your own adventure book. Detroit Almost Human, still looking fucking fantastic.
And it's having the guy from Cabin in the Woods, which Jules doesn't remember.
I don't remember it. I need to watch that movie again. Spider-Man looks pretty solid.
I don't know, I love the idea of having like an Arkham style takedown things and mixed within QTEs and all that. And it definitely looks like it's going to be open world.
I would expect it to be open world, considering...
Unless they have a mini-map in the bottom screen for no reason whatsoever.
I find that something that superhero video games should have. It's an open world, because you're supposed to be someone who helps fight crime, and the bad guys aren't going to be doing something all the time. So, bust a criminal here, punch a gangster there.
Well, I mean, you could also do it without it being open world, but...
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Do you remember the first Spider-Man game with...
Yeah, that came up for the PS1?
Yeah, with the cloud slinging and all that. Yeah, pretty solid game, even though it's incredibly linear. Still good for that era.
Well, there was also Shattered Dimensions. It was another linear
That
experience.
was
But it was an awesome game.
That was a pretty good game. Anything else on the PS or on Sony's thing that you want to talk about in particular?
Well, crap, I can't remember the name of the game. The one with the little mousey.
Moss?
Moss, yeah.
Yeah.
With the little mouse with a sword. It's a VR game, which kind of makes me not like it, but I love the idea of a little mouse with a sword running around.
Yeah, it's very cute, but again, shame that it's a VR game.
And the Uncharted, I'm excited for, but
that's a given.
There's nothing I can really say about that. It looks like an Uncharted game.
Yes. Okay, then moving on to Nintendo.
Very short.
Very short, 25 minutes. That's kind of minuscule in comparison, but at the same time, and I will play their defense here. They did show, or at least tease, a lot of things. Some of which I totally called. Some of which I was not expecting. Like, well, we know about the Mario and the Rabbids thing. That Yoshi game looks pretty good. For what they showed. It was beautiful to look at. It was very adorable, the way you would expect Yoshi to be. And if it's a return to the sort of things like Yoshi's Island on the N64 and all that, I'll take that.
N64?
Yeah, there was a Yoshi's Island game on the...
That was Yoshi's Story.
Oh, well, alright.
Yoshi's Island on the Super Nintendo.
Alright. Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Awesome game.
Either way, both great games. Mario Odyssey, I think that goes without saying that looks awesome. That trailer was really feel good and funny, and I liked the mechanic of throwing your hat onto things and becoming them like a T-Rex. That was pretty funny.
And they all get a mustache.
And they all get a mustache. Yeah. T-Rex is not something I would have expected in a Mario game, especially since like they seem to have made the point of making it look like a real T-Rex. That was kind of funny. I like that. I like that a lot. It's a very infectious trailer. I'm really looking forward to that.
Metroid Prime 4.
Metroid Prime 4, most exciting title card ever. There are definitely people out there jizzing themselves over that right now. No doubt that'll help eliminate the memory of Metroid Prime Confederation? Was that what it was called?
No, you're thinking Federation Force. Was it even a Prime?
Oh yeah, it had the word Prime in it.
Oh.
No doubt that'll help people recover from the, brain aneurysm of that game. Was it me that called that, or was it you that called that?
Well, I think none of us really called that. I think it was more like, a lot of people are saying that, and we both kind of were like, yeah, that.
Either way, even though it was an unbelievably short tease, that's still a goddamn good thing to bring to E3.
Pokemon is coming to the Switch, but they didn't
I
say
called
much.
that, even though it's probably going to be an entirely different thing and not Pokemon Stars. Either way,
I don't think it's going to be in the Alolan region.
No, either way, I'm taking ownership of that call.
You know what? I'm gonna make a guess. Pokemon Coliseum 3.
I think it'll end up being a normal Pokemon RPG thing.
Well,
Like
Pokemon Coliseum was a normal RPG.
Was it really though? I don't remember.
I mean, you did the whole thing. It's just the difference is you stole Pokemon, and there wasn't any typical gym battles.
Yes.
But then again, Sun and Moon doesn't have typical gym battles either.
Fair enough. Though I do think I'm just going to make the prediction now that they are going to stick to the traditional, or not traditional, but what the norm is now for Pokemon RPGs. Like, it was obvious that Game Freak's But they had put out you know, a thing to hire people for. Then they specifically said an RPG. So I wasn't convinced that they were just going to announce another Pokken tournament. That I thought they were going to make another RPG, and they are. And
well, technically
I'm
they're
looking forward to
making
that.
2 RPGs. There's Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Fair enough, yeah. But those are for the 3DS. What else was there?
Shit. What else was there? Oh, Xenoblade 2.
Xenoblade 2, yeah. I wish they had stuck more to the looks of the first Xenoblade Chronicles, but that being said, I still want to play it. I still have to play the first one.
I think that was pretty much it that was worthwhile.
Yeah,
There was the Fire Emblem.
Yeah, Fire Emblem here. No. They did tease that there was a full-fledged Fire Emblem game coming to the Switch, but long before E3. But they didn't mention it. Maybe it's not far along enough for them to actually say anything.
Well, Nintendo has switched to traditional conferences at E3 to these directs, which they do, I don't know.
Yeah, they do that pretty regularly.
So,
I'd say
I guess-
maybe like once a month or so.
I guess their E3 directs, you aren't going to find anything all that shocking on it anymore. Which
Yeah.
is a shame. It was always fun being, a big announcement sometimes.
I was actually expecting more HD ports and remakes, to be honest. Oh, I think I hear Benjamin. I still have hopes in the future for a remake of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, but we'll cross that bridge if and when we get to it. Last thoughts?
Nintendo's kind of short.
But I would argue they definitely had the substance to make up for that.
It was average, I would say, with how long it was.
Mm-hmm. Hey, how'd it go?
Fine.
Nice.
Not really.
So on that note, we're done?
Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3.
For fuck's sake, we didn't do it again. Alright. Bye.